going on, YouTube? I'm back, and today I want to sort of make the first installment of this new video series that I'm doing. And one of the first things I want to talk about in it is the new Overwatch PTR changes that are live right now in the public test realm. And I don't have a script or anything. I'm just sitting here enjoying my morning coffee, my first coffee of the day. And I figured I just want to talk about some things that are Overwatch related with you guys, you know, before I start the stream today. So a lot of people come to my stream and ask me what I think of the new PTR changes. So I'm going to go over some of them right now. Now, with the new D.Va changes, as you can see, they basically just made it so her defense matrix regenerates faster. So once you stop using it, that bar on the right side is just going to fill up faster and faster. This is definitely a good change for D.Va. Not technically, because I don't really see if that was her weakness or not. The problem with D.Va is that she's just not Sigma, and she just was not Roadhog. I mean, it's that simple. They want to make her stronger, and this is definitely one of the ways to do it. If you guys are new to Overwatch, if you've been playing since the beginning, you guys know D.Va's defense matrix is incredibly powerful. It defined the game almost ever since the game came out, all the way up until the GOATS meta, and then all the way post GOATS meta. She was probably the best hero ever, the best hero of all time, I would say. In all of Overwatch history, she's probably still rank 1, even though she's been irrelevant for the past couple seasons. You know, her stay at the top of tier 1 S tier type heroes was so long. I don't think anything will ever eclipse it. It was just so ridiculous. She's so good, and it was all because of that defense matrix. So they need to be really careful with that. And Orisa, pretty simple on the cooldown. You know, I don't know if you guys have heard my thoughts on Orisa. I hate that hero. I think just fundamentally and philosophically, that hero does not belong in the game. Now, don't get me wrong. I like some aspects of bunker comp every once in a while. And I do think that on certain maps, there is a place for it, but I just don't feel like Orisa is good for the health of a game in any respect. You know, I think when you have a hero like Orisa, I think that the position that hero should occupy in the game should be very situational. You know, like, sort of like first point Temple of Anubis, you know, stuff like that. Or on Paris first point, you know, it makes sense. You don't want a hero like Orisa to be run in every single game. It's so boring, and that's not opinion. The style of play that is conducive with running a hero like Orisa, you know, there isn't really much pushing. You know, there's not really much crazy plays like a Reinhardt Shatter. It's not as mobile as a Winston or even a Wrecking Ball. Basically, it's just bad for the game. It makes the game unfun. You know, is Orisa a hard hero to play? Skill gap, blah, blah, blah. I don't really care for that. I'm more of a style of play type of person, and the style of play that Orisa uses is complete trash for the game. It's very unhealthy, and in order for Blizzard to combat this problem, they have made it so that her shield won't be available for 1 extra second when she needs it. Now, this is actually going to be quite huge. If you guys play Hitscan, you know, if you play McCree in this meta, you'll know when that Orisa shield goes down, her head hitbox is ginormous. It's so easy to hit. It's so, she's so exposed in that moment. And a good McCree player, crit, dead. Think about that 1 extra second. It's going to be huge. Although I will say one more thing about it. I always felt like the key to nerfing Orisa was her Fortify ability. They're going a different direction. I have no problem with it. If they could delete Orisa from the game, I would not care. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Another good change. The next hero is Roadhog. Now, all they did was add 1 more right click or left click to his scrap gun. You know, when you're spamming the shields with Roadhog, boof, 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 you'll be able to do that 1 extra time. This is pretty big considering it is a shield meta. And, you know, having 1 extra shot in your gun is always going to be good in a shield meta. And this also kind of works with Orisa's barrier cooldown as well. You know, since her barrier is going to go down easier versus the Roadhog, I'm sure you guys have played against Orisa where you finally get the shield down and then you have to reload and then she puts a new shield down. So, you know, maybe this Roadhog change will make it so maybe you don't have to reload. Maybe just make it just that 1 extra shot that you need to break through the bunker comp. It's a good change. Roadhog has, ever since Sigma came out, He has just been completely irrelevant and pretty much a terrible pick no matter where you pick him. I mean, obviously at lower ranks and stuff, you can make it work, but when I make these statements, I'm always operating under the assumption that everyone's playing the meta and everyone's playing to win, and Roadhog in that scenario in the meta is not that good right now. And it's not because Roadhog sucks. It's because this hero right here, Sigma, who is receiving 3 nerfs. It's crazy. It's much needed. I said the first game I played against Sigma, I thought that he wasn't that overpowered, and then I remember I was on high ground. I forget what hero I was, maybe Soldier McCree, and he threw the shield at me, and I immediately thought this hero was retarded, man. I can't deal with it. And all of the other things, just the amount of utility that he brought, the amount of damage that he brought, the 400 health that he brought, his ultimate is disgustingly overpowered. I can't believe how much better it is than like a Graviton. It's essentially just a Graviton that damages you and almost kills you every single time without any follow-up damage. It's just absolutely disgusting. You know, Blizzard, I don't understand what you guys think. I don't know who tests your new heroes to check if they're balanced or not. I don't even know if you care if they're balanced or not. You know, we saw it with Brig and now we saw it with Sigma. You know, you introduce these heroes that just have way too much utility, and then they also do damage on top of the utility. It has no place in the game. You know, when you introduce heroes that do everything, I mean, I'm not even going to get into it. It makes no sense to me why you guys insist on putting these heroes in the game that do literally every single job. It's so unneeded and it's so bad for the game. You know, people talk about making a meta, breaking a meta. You know, it's no wonder that Sigma and Brig have defined 2 metas in a row now, and it's because, well, 2 of the last 3 metas, and it's because they do everything. There's almost no weakness for Sigma. He is such a well-rounded hero. It's stupid not to pick him. He's almost impossible to kill even when he's out of position because of his, what is this thing called? Kinetic Grasp is stupidly strong. It's just it's such a ridiculous hero. Come on, Blizzard, wake the fuck up. You can't be making heroes like this and releasing them. Look at how hard you had. 3 different nerfs. Good job. And now we're moving on to Winston. Winston, they increased the duration of his barrier from 6 to 9 seconds. I don't really see what the point of that was. You know, at a high level of play, when Winston puts his barrier down, it almost never lasts. It almost gets blown up immediately. It's the first priority every time. You know, Winston comes in, he throws down his bubble, and it always gets focused. If you don't focus it, the Winston won't die. So I thought it was kind of weird how they changed that, but I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. The health increase of it is important though, and it's good. I think only 100. They really don't want Winston to become meta again, I feel. So they're trying to be really careful, and you can see how careful they're being with the Orisa nerf. Just 1 second more on the cooldown for Orisa, and then just 100 more health on Winston's barrier. They have to be very careful now when they're, you know, the game's been out for a couple years now, and they're really starting to fine-tune some things, except for the heroes that they release that are always busted, but I'm not going to get into that right now. So, Winston, this is definitely good for Winston. Winston, you know, is still a really good tank. It's just, man, Sigma is just so strong, and Orisa is just so strong. You know, it's not really that any hero sucks in Overwatch. It's always just about which ones are busted. And Winston is just not busted right now, so he's not in the meta, and that's just the game we play. Now, BAP also received a nerf to his immortality field, which I always felt, I first saw that he was going to have an immortality field, you know, excuse me, I felt like it was going to be stupid, but I felt like it wasn't going to be that big of a deal until you get into those games where, say you're on DPS, right? And then you need to pop off and carry, you know, where you really need to get 90% of your potential as a player, right? Get 2 picks, you know, go ham. 3 people chasing you, you still get a pick, right? You get a kill, you throw your post bomb, you get another pick, you die, right? You're popping off, you're trying to hard carry. The other team picks BAP, and every single time you're about to have a breakthrough and make a really poggers play on DPS, this person presses E and erases your play. So that play that you had to work so hard to get, that you probably might only get once or twice in this round because your team sucks and you have to hard carry. You're going to get 1 or 2 opportunities this entire round to break the enemy's defense, and it gets completely negated by this person pressing E. Terrible for the game. Absolutely terrible. I'm happy to see this nerfed. I would just prefer it to be out of the game, but that's just my personal opinion. I'm glad they nerfed him. I wish they would nerf him more, but, you know, without his immortality field, there's not really that much justification to play him over Ana, so I can see why they still want it to be a thing in the game. Now, for the Lucio changes, don't really have much to say here. I mean, they just messed with his speed. Speed boost effect increased from 20 to 25%. Speed boost amplification increased 50 to 60, and to compensate for these speed changes, they've reduced his wall riding speed, because if they left these changes the same with his current wall riding speed, he would be ridiculously fast when running on those walls. So that's why they nerfed the wall ride speed. Not really a nerf, it's just kind of just like a way to account for the new buff. Mercy. So now Valk, you know, when Mercy is damage boosting or healing during Valk, you see all those tentacles coming from her. Those will now go through barriers. Good change. You know, I actually don't hate Mercy like most Overwatch players do. You know, I've never really hated the game when Mercy was in it. You know, Mercy's res has never really bothered me that much. Technically, it's always bothered me and I hated it. But when I'm playing the game, it never really stresses me out or bothered me that much. I can't explain why. It just never did. I don't know why. It should. It should have bothered me. It never did, though, for some reason. Doomfist. Oh my god. One sec. When I get killed by Doomfist in Overwatch, I actually ask myself why I play. When I get stun locked or one shot, or he uses his ult and singles me out, and I have to burn cooldowns just to escape the fucking meteor strike, and then I have no cooldowns for when he engages on me, and then he slams the ground, gains health, and then one shots me. If I had hair, I'd be ripping it out. I can't handle that shit, man. Doomfist, I just feel like is an impossible hero to balance, and he's always going to be frustrating to play against. Now, I don't think he's as easy as people make it seem. People talk like anyone can pick Doomfist and just pop off. And, you know, in terms of like potential of getting picks, I think Doomfist is a hero that like you either get 3 picks or you get none. And a bad player can randomly get 3 picks, but a bad player will also die 5 times in a row without doing anything. Now, a good Doomfist will get 3 picks and then get 1 pick, and then get 3 picks and then get 1 pick, and then die, and then get 2 picks and then die, you know? Just a little more consistency there. It's not as easy as people make it sound, but I'm happy to see Doomfist get nerfed. You know, I'm a traditional FPS type of guy. I play Hitscan, Soldier 76 and such. I wish Doomfist wasn't in the game, because against Soldier 76, even McCree, Doomfist is so good against. And he's squishy in the game. You know, you leave spawn against Doomfist, and for some reason you're out of position, it seems. They have increased Sombra's translocator cooldown from 4 to 6 seconds, but they've changed it also so now it begins immediately upon deploying the beacon. This is just a quality of life change, I feel. I hope I'm interpreting that the right way. I feel like it's just gonna make her feel better, and I like playing Sombra. I don't really hate Sombra. Good stuff, in my opinion. Nerfing Symmetra. Now, if you guys have watched my stream highlights, you guys know Symmetra's fucking ridiculously strong. It's insane how good of a hero she used to be. They've already nerfed her once, and I did notice the nerf, but she still gets run. Here's the problem with Photon Barrier. You know, when Brig was in GOAT's meta, and I heard her activate her ultimate, I always had the thought in my mind, okay, that's it, GG. Well, not GG, but go next. Like, go again, whatever the kids say, you know? It's as soon as you hear the enemy team activate rally in the Brig meta, you just knew that you lost the team fight. No matter what, it was over. It was just over. And I think Photon Barrier, Symmetra's ultimate, was the same thing. You know, as soon as in the middle of the team fight or before the team fight, when I saw that red wall come down, you know, you just get that feeling inside, it's over. It's done. And so I'm glad that they nerfed it. The sentry turret nerf, I definitely think this is good. I mean, the fact that the turrets slow you always seemed to piss me off enough. And I don't really like Symmetra in the game either. You know, builder heroes, Dan's game. They can leave, man. I don't really care for them. Good. Nerf Symmetra into the ground. Delete Symmetra for all I care. I really do not care. The photon projector sound is getting a buff, which is so important. There are so many times during a hectic fight where a Symmetra will be melting me from behind, and I actually don't even know. It happens so many times. It was definitely too quiet, and I always felt like, is there something wrong with my sound? But no, it's good to see that they're actually buffing it, that a lot of players also felt the same thing, because definitely way too quiet. The tracer changes. Now, it kind of seems like it's not a big deal, right? It's only a buff to her damage fall off. Well, reducing the damage fall off, right? So it's a buff. It's actually going to be so big just for Tracer's raw damage output. Here's the thing. When a Tracer is a little bit further away from you, right? You can kind of ignore the Tracer until she gets close, and then you can focus her, right? She's such a fast, mobile hero. You know, focusing her down when she's a little bit further away from you has always kind of just been a last priority. But now with this buff, she's going to be able to be a little bit further away from you and melt you, which is going to just make her better in so many different ways. It's really hard for me to articulate exactly what I mean without showing you, or you just experience it for yourself. I feel like this change might not make Tracer good right now, but, you know, if the time ever comes when mobile heroes become really good again, she is without a doubt going to be an amazing hero again. Which I obviously love. I love playing Tracer. So this is amazing. You know, it's kind of like Tracer 76, you know? You'll be able to go up into little spots, you know, maybe go behind obstacles and poke out and shoot and spam. You know, go behind an obstacle again, poke out, shoot, go back behind again. I think that this is fantastic. It's going to be super annoying to play against, I guarantee you, but I'm a DPS player who loves to play Tracer, so I'm not going to complain. I think it's a great thing, but like I said, I am definitely biased. This is a great thing for Tracer, although I don't think this is going to make her meta or anything. In fact, I don't think any of these changes are going to change the meta, unfortunately. I still think Sigma's utility, in combination with Orissa's simplicity, is just, and the double shield there. Double shield is ridiculous. It shouldn't even be allowed, man. It shouldn't even be allowed. Double shield in an FPS game. Get the fuck out. God.